Hello and welcome. Today's video is part of Kendra's card challenge, and we are featuring our super sponsor, Kraftin Kimmie stamps. And today I'll be using their newest release, and I've got two of the stamps from that. I've got Sweet and Spooky, and I've got Hey There Punkin. And I'm going to use a couple of the stamps from each of the stamp sets, and I'm going to bring in my Misty, and we're just going to get some stuff stamped down. And we're going to do the house, and it's kind of like a haunted house with some ghosts peeking out of there, and we've got some pumpkins and everything. And I'm just going to get this lined up on my Misty and get it stamped down. I'm checking, I want to use a die to cut this out, and so I was checking the size of that die and see if that was going to be big enough to die cut out my image. And I'm just going to ink it up. I'm going to stamp it a couple times just to make sure I get a real good press. Now I am taking this napkin and wiping the ink off the door, and that's because I'm going to modify this door. And now I'm using my finger, and I'm just trying to get part of the door, actually kind of the outline of the door, stamped down. And I'm only going to get part of it, which is fine. And I'm going to stamp it again and just try to get it all stamped down well. And I'm going to ink it up again. And I'll have to clean that off again because I still want to kind of modify this door. So I'm just using my napkin to clean that off, and we'll get it stamped down. And then I'm happy with the ink on here. So I'm just going to grab my tool and lift it off of there. And then I'm going to bring in just a black pen and my little metal ruler. And I'm going to try and line it up and finish that door off the way that I want it. And I brought in the other stamp set and laid it there because I am looking at the door that is on that stamp set, and I'm going to try and make this door look like that door. And so I'm just going to run my ruler across there, and I'm going to make, instead of the arched door with lines in it, I'm going to make a door that has the straight line across the top, and then it's got an arched half moon window in it so that it looks like the stamp set. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to bring my Misty back in, and I'm going to grab that door, and I'm going to stamp it down. And I was thinking I could use that, but there were some little spots on there, so I decided to bring in a fresh piece of paper, and I realized I didn't remove the other stamp from there, so I had to remove it, get my stamp lined up, because I'm going to die cut this one as well, and we'll just get it inked up. And I'm not going to do any modifying on this. I'm just going to get it stamped down. We'll ink it up 2 times and get it stamped down, and then we'll be good to go with this stamp here. And this one is from the Hey There Punkin, and the other one is from the Sweet and Spooky. Now, I'm going to bring in this green cardstock here. It's kind of a yellow-green. And I'm going to bring in the Sweet and Spooky Sentiment, and that's from the Sweet and Spooky stamp. And I'm going to bring in the Pumpkin Full of Candy stamp, and that's from the Sweet and Spooky as well. And I'll get those inked up, pressed down. And this panel here is actually going to be the inside of my card. This is going to be a fun card. I'm really excited about what I have planned for this. So we'll get this inked up, and then I'll go off screen and do my coloring, and then we'll come back on and assemble our cards. So this is a hop video, and all of the information is listed in the description box below. Here are my colored images, and I'm going to work with them. Now, as I assemble the card, I'm going to talk a little bit about the hop. So it is a giveaway hop in which you have a chance to win a digital prize from Kendra from Kendra's Card Challenge, and the information is linked in the description box. All you need to do is fill out the entry form and submit it, and you can do that on each designer's video today. So follow along on the hop and fill out on each one, and it will increase your chances to win. So I laid my first panel down. Now this is where it gets fun. I took an A2 size panel and I cut it down to the dimensions on the card sketch 10, in which my layering, my bottom layer is supposed to be 4 by 5 1/4. So I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and then I took 1 1/4 inches off of it and made the top flap shorter. And now I'm just going to lay down my pattern paper that the sketch calls for, and this is the smallest piece, and I'm going to lay it on the bottom flap, And we'll just get a nice little edge around there and get it laid down. And then I'm going to bring in my little magnet and hold that closed. And then I'm going to take the other piece, which is pattern paper D, according to the sketch, and I'm going to lay it down on my top fold. And so we're going to have some layers to this. And so I've got my card base, and then I've got this fold on top of my card base. And so I'm going to take the door image, and I used some scrap. I've been busting through my scrap on the last month or so, and this was some scrap paper that had some damage to the back of it, and I went ahead and stamped on it. So I'll have to tear off those little pieces that are hanging out there, and then we'll get it laid down on our card base. So I'm fighting with my glue right at the moment. It had clogged up on me while I was coloring, and so I'm just going to get it inked up, and then we'll get this panel layered, and we're going to lay this on the inside of this panel here. Now, none of this is part of the sketch. The front of the card is going to look just like the sketch, except instead of having a circle on there, I'm going to have a rectangle. And so this, when you close that flap, that's what the sketch looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the inside before I finish the other panel. And I'm just going to lay my sentiment with my pumpkin full of candy on the inside of my card, and it'll leave me plenty of room to write my message. This card will likely go to one of my grandkids. So we get this laid down on there. I had a little crease in the paper, so I brought my bone folder in and kind of rubbed it out. And then we're just going to move on to the rest of our card. So I encourage you to click the playlist in the description box below, and if you click play all, it'll move you through all of the videos in the playlist. So I'm bringing in, the sketch calls for a band that's going to go across the front of the paper, and I'm modifying it by making it a belly band. And I have scored one edge of it at 2.5, and I've already got it folded under. And then I'm going to bring in my other stamped image and the layer that it's going to go on, and I'm going to layer it up. And this is going to be the piece that replaces the circle on my card sketch. And I'll just get it laid down there and matted just like I did the other one. And then I'm going to measure, I'm going to get the belly band wrapped around there. I'm actually gluing the corner of that green piece back down. And I'm going to measure where I want it and just fold it around there and kind of hold it into place. Try to get it lined up nice and neat. And then we're going to add some tape runner and just line it up on there. And then we'll slide it back on the card. And I was trying to decide, do I want to glue it on my card base or do I want to glue it off? And so I just held it on there, put some tape runner on there, and then I'm going to slide it over there and then add my panel to that. And there we go. And I think this is super fun. I really like this card. So I've got, my belly band on there. And so this is what the card sketch looks like, the front of the card. And then you slide that off, you open it up, and you've got him at the front door, and then you open it up, and you've got the candy on the inside. And I think it's super cute. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.